Hello, it's a great pleasure to be here. As you heard, I'm here representing YoungShip Cyprus, so I'm not under any other capacity apart from sharing some of the general, let's say, concerns of perhaps the younger of the industry, the younger person of the industry, or maybe hopefully shared by all of you. The idea is not to, present exact science. I mean, we are in the prospect of speculating now and thinking what would be the future and how we can address some of the concerns from now. And since a lot of the, let's say, the key players of the industry are here, I mean, either it's ship management companies or training schools or manufacturers of farm equipment, etc., and training, it is a big aspect. I think it's good to see what is the crewing aspect and how that will change. So starting, I tried to avoid to put any much text, so using some cool pictures, try to get some context out of this. So starting with, is this the picture that what we expect that the future of the shipping will be, with unmanned vessels, fully autonomous, human element disappear completely, artificial intelligence, drones flying, containers, etc. For example, that's not how I expect the future to be. That's not how I see the future shaping up. But there is a lot of talk out there of that will be the future very shortly. Actually, we had a very interesting discussion last night saying how that started off as a marketing competition from some of the companies, trying to promote, let's say, their new technologies, etc. So my point of view is that we will not witness the human element disappearing from shipping, crewing. So there are a lot of thoughts how that should be about, but definitely not disappearing. Artificial intelligence, automation, all the new technologies will have a severe impact on it, but not going from one end to the other end and disappearing completely. So I used this interesting sheet here to show the combinatorial technologies that are expected to have a huge impact on shipping in the following years. Actually, this came from a study by Lloyd's Register and some partners on the shipping 2030. And there is a study of the various technologies and how their development should affect shipping. This is not directly linked with human element and crewing, but it's necessary to understand how the actual vessels and how the operations and how our industry will be moving in the future, and try to think of the individual of each technologies, their process, their effect will have on shipping. Imagine the effect that will have on crewing and on people that they will have to adapt with the use of these technologies, take advantage of them, comply with them, etc. Not to mention the regulatory aspect of things and the compliance that's happening. That, as we see from previous panel, the main focus is on training. It's such a technical issue, ballast water treatment, and the big issue, the big concern is what's happening with the training. Are the crew able to use the systems? Can they test this, etc.? Let's take it one step further and see how will the crew be able to treat advanced material, advanced mechanical installation, 3D printers, sensors, big data, analytics, etc. These technologies will come into shipping, are already here, but will become bigger and more involved and key to the daily operation. So we have to think where we're heading. There was recently a crew connectivity survey, 2018, which, although the main aspect of it was to address a separate issue, connectivity, it brought some very interesting stats that I put a small note here that worth addressing. Just give me a second. Actually, it came out that when it comes to automation, 53% of the crew saw one or more of their roles become automated in the last 2 years, 53%. And 98% of those that they saw their roles being automated, some of their roles, they felt that it was a positive change. That signals that the seafarers are adapting. The seafarers are not they are not fighting change. They are adapting to the change. The idea is to see how we as the companies, as the industry, try to facilitate them to keep up with the changes. They are not an obstacle to this. What was quite worrying is the fact about cybersecurity. Although I was not intending to touch cybersecurity in this section, the clear lack of training in this aspect was what that shocked me, and I realized that it's an issue to address, and because this signals how we as an industry treat all the new technological changes. For example, out of the study, 49% of the seafarers are unaware of their employers' cyber policies, they don't have a clue, and 41% thinks the responsibility lies just with the master, where everybody, they have interaction daily with machines, computers, etc. Also, 47% of seafarers sailed in 2018 had become a target of cyber attack. Of course, we've all watched the statistics of cyber security and know how big it is. That's not my issue. The big issue is that 85% have not received any training, not at all, on such a serious issue, such a serious risk. I mean, we are in the conference about SAFETY4SEA. I mean, in the new age, it becomes one of the major risks, for the safety of the vessels as well, not only economic risk. And we as an industry have not taken any steps to educate the people on board the vessels about these crucial changes. Also, when it comes to the request on what are the training needs of the seafarers, the top two, not surprisingly, categories were 60% want technology and digital training on board. They feel that they don't have the adequate knowledge and access to the technology, understanding, and 65% want equipment, refresh and training. And that's not a surprise either, because with all these technological changes, we can see that the basic equipment that they are using is changing rapidly. So how do we expect these people to adapt and change? I mean, from the time they went to the nautical schools, by now, all the equipment are different, everything has changed. We talk about actives, ballast water treatment, and so many other technologies. But how can we ensure that they are up to date, they feel confident, they feel competent to do their job, and they have all the necessary information? And that without overwhelming them with all the new responsibilities and all the requirements for all the tasks, etc. And I will finish off. It was a quick introduction with a new cool word that my friend Apostolos shared with me yesterday about learnability. We didn't know that this word existed, which is he was right. It's going to be one of the main, say, the most interesting or the key skill that necessary for the new generation, for the new era, not only shipping, but particularly shipping, where we have to go to this process of unlearning and relearning, because we have very specialized crew, very specialized professionals that they are highly trained. I don't believe that our crew are not trained. They are fully trained professionals that they know a variety of subjects, and we need to change the way they are using. So there is a process of, basically you are challenging and you are changing their daily work, the systems that they use, etc. So they need to go through a period or a process of unlearning their daily jobs, what they learn in universities, what they learn to the different training courses, etc. And relearn, adapt them, upskill them to the right level of technology. Talking about the unmanned vessel, for example. Yes, I do not expect that we'll have unmanned vessels. Autonomous, yes. Most likely the number of crew on board will be reduced. But still, you will require the same, let's say, types of work that are being carried now in the future. For example, you will still need technical, maybe it's not going to be called chief officer, chief engineer, etc., but you will need a professional engineer, that he will require different skills from what is today. Perhaps he will need to have a high-level understanding of engineering understanding, be able to work with advanced tools, being able to have daily communication with the manufacturers, get instructions, clear instructions, how to restart the system, how to fix the system, etc. Similarly, navigation. You will need to work with more advanced equipment, new equipment, and still use that properly and efficiently to do the job. So it's not a matter of disappearing, the human element disappearing. It's about taking it to the right level, educational, professional level, that it's able to do their work properly, and keep up with the change that is coming. There is no doubt about that. We are here and we witness that, perhaps not to the level that the industry markets itself, the cruelest and the fully high-tech, futuristic view, but there is huge change coming and we need to adapt. And by the looks of what's happening with the survey that I've seen before, 85% of our crew, we fail to train them on cybersecurity, one of the hottest issues in this area. So we need to, as an industry, we need to take a more collective approach on that and try and solve this very interesting and very crucial subject.